Did you guys watch AEW?
User.
Yeah.
What did Dynamite do last night, Joe?
Okay, up overall, which means they are 923,000.
923,000.
Yeah.
What were they last week?
847.
Yeah.
Yeah, 847.
They were up. Well, they've been low for the past couple of weeks, but they'll get over 900 every once in a while now. You know.
Well, I have the double or nothing star ratings as well.
What do you got?
Would you like to hear those? Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So the Hardys and Hook versus the Guns and Ethan Page, star and 3/4. The Blackjack Battle Royal, 4 4.25 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cole and Chris Jericho, 3.25 stars.
Mm-hmm.
FTR versus Jarrett and Lethal, 4 stars. Wardlow versus Christian in the ladder match, 3 3/4. Tony versus Jamie Hayter, 1.25. House of Black versus the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn for the trios titles, 3.25. Jade versus Taya, 2 3/4. Jade versus Statlander, no rating. And then your 4-way world title match, MJF, Guevara, Darby, and Jungle Boy, 4 3/4 stars. And the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club, 5 stars.
Oh my god!
So there you
Bro,
go.
David's been giving these garbage matches between these guys 5 stars.
I don't know about that Jade and Taya 2 3/4. You know, that was a little. I'm just not a Jade fan though.
Yeah. All right, so the show opens with the Blackpool Combat Club against Penta, Phoenix, and Bandito. Wasn't Bandito buddying up with
The best
Orange
friend.
Cassidy? Right, yeah. Now he's just we forgot all about that.
Well, they're 2 Mexicans. Let's stick another one in there.
Yeah. This is a weird match because this is bro, these guys lay out, I mean, traditional tag team wrestling with baby faces and heels is like, you very rarely see a match like that anymore because this was so weird because they were setting up hot tags, right? Like, I don't know if you noticed this, Konnan. So Bandito was on the apron, like
Right.
waiting for a hot tag.
Right.
They did the hot tag and they like cut him off like immediately. Like the hot tag, there was no hot tag. He hit the ring and then they cut him off. And I was like, "What?" It's just a very weird.
I don't even remember that.
You probably didn't notice it, but it was just like he didn't even get any offense in. They did like one
Right.
move, and then they cut the guy. Like it was like boom, boom. You're bouncing guys
Right,
around.
right.
But it's just like he gave one move, and then they cut him off and threw him out of the ring, and it just started wanting more heat. I don't know. It's like maybe I don't know. So, but if you know who's going to go over? They're putting Yuta over. Yuta's getting the pins lately. I don't know if you're noticing this.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, but what did you think of this? Anything special?
So, let me see what happened. I think I lost you guys. Oh, here that you are. Well, here's the thing. That was a great match because I like that type of match. I was in the arena. Now, the arena is the San Diego State University, which is for like 12,000 people. And it looked like it was configured to maybe 5,000 people. There was probably almost 5,000 people there. And they were very hot from the beginning, especially, the first match. People are really pumped because they've been sitting there waiting for the match to begin. I thought it was a little bit too much when Bandito lifted the guy up. Might have been Yuta. And he counted to 60. It's like, dude, 10 is good enough, 20 at the most. But he counted to 60 and the crowd counted with him. I was like, that's too much. Then when we did at the end, when he stayed with Yuta, they did that forearm back and forth forever. I just thought that was too much too. But this was a good match. And Yuta also won in the pay-per-view. So that's smart because he doesn't have the credibility that Mox and Danielson and Claudio have. So they're starting to give him a little bit of a rub, and he got over.
Alex Marvez interviewed the Elite backstage with Hangman, Matt, and Nick, and said they would. He said he never thought they would try to melt off another man's face with an explosive sneaker, and yet here they are. Then Evil Uno showed up with Alex Reynolds and Silver, and they said hello to Paige and acted jealous because he was hanging out with his friends. Then Marvin said there's rumor that Kenny Omega left the country and was back in Canada, and Paige said Omega was hurt and pissed off and added he was not in Canada. Then Paige ran out to speak with the Dark Order trio. This is just a weird backstage segment that I don't understand what point they were trying to get at here.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this?
Go ahead, Joe.
I kind of it was fine for me, but I caught myself when the voice off screen. I didn't know who it was, and then they panned over to Evil Uno. I kind of just went, ugh.
Yeah.
So that wasn't. I get that the story's continuing. Paige was friends with those guys. Now he's back with his old friend, but it just doesn't interest me really.
So Juice Robinson and Rick, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, Juice Robinson and Juice Robinson and Jay White had an in-ring promo, and they brought up the AEW Tag Team Champions. And Robinson says,
"Oh, you know what I just thought? What I just thought about? I'm sorry, Disco. He said that Omega hadn't gone back to Canada, so I think they're alluding to that he went back to Japan and he's going to bring somebody back with him. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, if that's like a
it's going to be a Ibushi.
Yeah, who cares? Ricky White said Starks felt like he was on top of the world. Jay White said Ricky Starks felt he was on top of the world. Says Starks is not the AEW International Champion because he lost that match just as he lost to White. The Robinson brought up FTR. Asked why they came the aid of Starks. Robinson says Starks had no friends. White said FTR Southern boys are a little slow and look dumb too. And then Hardwood and Wheeler made their entrance and entered the ring. Robinson assumed they were there to apologize, and White assumed they wanted to join the Bullet Club and said all they had to do was ask politely. And Hardwood held out his hand for the mic, but White dropped it in front of him, and Robinson hit Hardwood with a cheap shot punch, and then he and White attacked FTR. Ricky Starks ran out with a chair, causing White and Starks to exit the ring and hop the barricade, and Starks challenged White to face him next week with Robinson not at ringside. What do you think about this?
Well, remember when I said that Jay White doesn't come off as a superstar and everybody melted?
Right.
Have I been wrong yet?
No.
I saw a lot of tweets that criticized his work in the promo, that like he seemed unprepared.
He's been very underwhelming.
Yeah.
But he is a good wrestler, that's for sure. And let me and here's the other thing that kind of, so at the end when they got on FTR, it's like I miss the old days because when I first broke into wrestling, I was a babyface. I had a very savvy veteran tell me every time the heel hits you 3 times, hit him back once. And then I heard Ricky Steamboat say, every time a heel hits you twice, hit him back. Nobody ever fights back. It's you just get glom. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no baby face fire or fight back.
Right. He just gets buried. Yeah.
They don't know how to do this. Well, the only brawling these guys do.
Jeff Jarrett is there. Arn Anderson is there.
But these guys like stand there and just do the
DDP's always there.
Right. I don't know. It's like
okay, so the only thing I will say this is that Jeff Jarrett and Lethal against who did they just wrestle? It was FTR, wasn't it?
Who's that?
I think so.
Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Yes.
Okay,
if
you notice
that
was a little bit more like comedy, and it revolved around Mark Briscoe. I think this is going to be good because there's going to be some real good wrestling.
Right.
Well, here's an update since we talk about this a lot on who is involved in the AEW creative and stuff. So obviously Tony creates the outline for the show.
Where's this from? What source is this?
This is from the Observer.
All right.
QT and Sanjay are the 2 key guys assisting Khan. And then the creative meetings feature Pat Buck, Jerry Lynn, Chris Daniels, Dean Malenko, and Will Washington. And then Brian Danielson is joining the booking committee or whatever it is, or the team for
good, because he did a great job on SmackDown when he was there.
Yeah, he's going to be, it says for Collision. I don't know if that means he's just strictly working on Collision or what, but so Danielson's joining the room.
Well, what do you think about how far a boy has come, Sanjay Disco?
I mean, yeah.
It's cool, bro, because I go back there and he's just running and produce this, and I like seeing him in that capacity. And also that he hired Jeff after Jeff hired him. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though it was Tony, but I'm sure that,
Yeah.
Tony Khan announced that CM Punk was going to be on the first edition of Collision, and then there was a mixed reaction from the crowd on that.
Definitely.
Yes, bro. It was, I was there, like I said, it was 60-40, for Punk.
Oh, for
60. Punk. Yeah, but still 40. If you're a babyface and you're over, you should have 100.
Right.
Yeah.
A little underwhelming is how I would put that. I'd rather them have done a video package and made it a bigger deal. This was just Tony going, hey, guess what? So
next is a 3-way match with Swerve and Big Bill and Trent Barrett. And was this for any stakes or anything? Or was this just a 3-way match for the hell of it? I
think what the story was, they all had issues with each other in that battle royal somehow.
Right.
That's what it was.
Match.
So Swerve goes over. The right guy went over here.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
Him, so. There's nothing to this, to be honest with you. See if the Swerve went over. Big Bill.
It looks like they might be giving this guy a push, which he deserves.
Swerve, yeah, he's got something for sure.
So this was kind of weird. Jade Cargill's been the champ for 3 years, right? And she just got beat on an open challenge in 40 seconds. So they did a video package of Statlander, and she spoke about how it had been a long time, and she was emotional. She spoke about winning the championship. She said she would prove to everyone they were right, and would also prove it to herself by having the best title reign that anyone has ever seen. And like that was it. We didn't hear from Jade Cargill, or not. That was it. And this is that's a weird follow up to a girl that was champion for 3 years and just lost the first match after 60. I don't know. I thought this would have merited more of a response or something from Jade Cargill.
Now, this is just us. Huh? Go ahead.
She's taking time off was the word, but I agree with Disco. I would have much rather, even if it was just something as simple as her pushing the camera away and storming out after the match, something.
All right. You got any comment?
What are you saying, Konnan?
No, I was wondering before you said that she'd take time off if they were trying to give her an attitude check because she lost that quick, and then they did. She had no rebuttal the next week, or a video or something. Yeah. They could have filmed it the same night if they knew she was going to be off, so they could play it this week,
So Tony,
that booking doesn't sit. Sorry, Dia. That booking doesn't sit right with me because it's basically Chris was a returning babyface, but she comes in and beats Jade, who had already wrestled a match. It comes across as like sneaky, like a heel move, really. I don't know. The crowd seemed to have
like she didn't win it outright. Yeah,
she didn't win it.
Maybe they just probably just wanted to get it off of her. I guess. Why couldn't they have had a match this week and then she can go on? Who knows? I mean, I have
or just have
info.
Taya beat her in a hard fought match or something like Taya is partially on the plate right now.
So okay. So I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not even going to read this, but I'm going to ask Konnan. Did the Acclaimed had an in-ring interview? Did they say anything of note?
No, no. And the biggest thing is that they were saying Billy Gunn deserves another title run.
That's it. They did an in-ring interview to say this. They didn't say who. This was just like it's kind of weird. Some of these segments on the show, like they accomplish nothing. Yeah.
So, unlike Disco, I ain't afraid to say when I'm wrong. Right. So I had suggested last week or the week before that the Acclaim might be dying down, but I was out there and they got a humongous pop, bro. Right. They're still over. Yeah.
So next, Tony Schiavone introduces Don Callis. This is Jason Powell says Callis received Dominic Mysterio-like boos, which is true.
I would agree.
And basically just cut a generic promo. He took credit for Omega. Said he has to look at the scar on his head every morning, blames Omega. Said Omega destroyed his family. Maybe I've lost a nephew, but I've gained a son. Points to Takeshita. Said Takeshita is better than Ricky Doza, Inoki, Makeda, Muto, Okada, and Omega. And Okada took the mic and spoke in Japanese and said they will destroy the elite, namely Omega. And this has they have booed out of the building. This is entertainment stuff. Even though it was just a very generic, basic verbiage promo, and he was just getting booed out of the building.
Right, which also show how much they like Kenny too.
Right.
Yeah, certain guys just excel at being unlikable and sleazy and all that, like Heyman. But Don's one of those guys. It's been like that since he's been around in the mid to late '90s. He just gets that reaction. Just
he loves to play unlikable characters. He's much like himself. Nothing done.
Man.
So next in our weekly lesson of little guys having to beat the big guys, Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy are team now, and they wrestle the Gates of Agony, Bishop Kaun and Toa Leona. And those guys actually look pretty good.
They do.
And they got a good look. They should not have I think this is the first match they had on Dynamite.
Maybe
they should have given.
And
these
they
guys
got beat. I couldn't believe this.
They should have given them a win against somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, win against them.
Right.
Like build these guys.
Build them up. Yeah.
Right. They're going out there getting beat by two guys that weigh 100 pounds less than each of them. And it's like, they weren't good. Like, this was not a believable match to me again. These guys, it's really hard to keep your suspension of disbelief when you watch Darby and Cassidy literally win every single match that they're in every single week, regardless of who they go against. It's just that, I don't know. It seems like rinse repeat television. It's getting boring. Like these guys are never in peril. They're just they're selling it.
No. Well, they do sell a lot.
But they're going to win.
They do sell a lot. Right.
They're never in peril of losing.
Now Darby's lost. Darby's lost in the last few months. I forgot who it was against, but he's lost.
It's against MJF in the main event. Okay. Yeah. So after the match, Strickland, Cage, and Prince Nana walked to ringside, and Sting came out with a baseball bat, and they all stood in the ring together. What we got here? So this is funny. So Tony Schiavone has Hook in the ring for a promo, okay? And in the typical fashion, Hook literally did not get one word out and was interrupted by Jose the assistant. And he walked out with Jalistico and Preston Vance. And he apologized for interrupting Hook, but he said it's the only way they can get mic time. And they headed the ring, and then they attacked Hook. Then Jungle Boy came out with a chair. And the heels went to the stage and met him, and Perry hit them both with chair shots. Then Perry chased Jose back in the ring where Hook suplexed him. And Perry joined Hook inside the ring and bumped fists with him. Perry's music played to end the segment. If Tony Khan, if they have a booking committee and they think that this is like an angle, because it's obviously going to set up Jalistico and Preston Vance against Jungle Boy and Hook next week, there's no teeth to this angle at all. They come out and interrupt him, attacked him, and then the Bayface came in and ran him off.
I just think it's three guys they don't know really what to do with, so they're going to walk them around the block. And because these guys, Jose, Preston Vance, and Jalistico, even though Jalistico is very good, they don't really have any heat. So when they were attacking, the people weren't really in an uproar. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So,
but they should have good matches.
Right. So Chris Statlander wrestles Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose is storing these very weak forearms in this match. You gotta lay that shit in. But Chris Statlander beat her in 8 minutes and 10 seconds for the TBS championship. I mean, you knew who was going to win here. She just won the belt. Well, 3 days later, go ahead.
Yeah, what I didn't like is that she was out with a knee injury, right? Mm-hmm. So Nyla Rose was working her knee. She was barely selling it. Then she kipped up and delivered this top rope thing. It's like, isn't your knee, or didn't they more? Let me see. What else do I remember about this match? They showed Taya Valkyrie looking backstage, so she might be a future opponent. And then Statlander won with a 450, which you don't see many women doing, if any.
Yeah. So next is the mixed tag of Adam Cole and Baker against Chris Jericho and Saraya. Saraya's a little bit reckless in the ring. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
Like she hasn't been working enough. So I don't know. It's like she's a little clumsy on some of
her timing
stuff.
Is off. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And but basically near the end, Jericho grabbed his baseball bat, went after Baker, but she ducked it, and then Cole he was going to hit Baker with the baseball bat. Come on. Then Cole super kicked Jericho, and then Baker super kicked Saraya, and then Cole and Baker followed up with a double super kick on Jericho. Then Cole went to his corner and tagged in, and Cole lowered his knee pad and hit him with the boom knee, and then pinned him. And afterwards, Jericho threw a tantrum by tossing a chair inside the ring. What do you think of this?
It was good. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was it was all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the show was kind of weird because it had angles, but they really didn't make it typical. They don't really make you care about the people that they're putting in the angles, like just random attacks and attacking guys and stuff. I don't know. So the show was all right. What did you think of the show?
That was the main event, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd give it like I'm trying to remember what I liked about the show.
Average?
Yeah, like a B- if I had to give it a grade.
Right. All right, that's been our AEW review.
Oh, by the way, I did like the Don Callis. That was great.
Well, that was good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that was a highlight of the show. To be honest.
And I liked the first match, the Lucha match against that was really good too. What else was there that you could consider? Hey, those two Samoans. Well, I was corrected because I thought they were Samoans. One's Samoan and one's African American. Mm-hmm. But I thought they looked good. Looked snug. They acted the part. They should do something with those guys.
Right.
All right.
So that's been our review.